And I like that quote, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. There is a huge percentage of the population that doesn't really believe they can impact where their business is going or the things that go on in their day-to-day lives, careers, jobs, whatever. Okay, and I'll give you an example. About 2008 or 9 or 10, somewhere in there, I went to see a client. He was a manufacturer. And I said, how's it going? He said, well, it's not very good. He said, our customers, they just don't want to buy anything. And our competitors cut their prices in half. And the government changed some regulatory thing. And our employees are all leaving. And there's just nothing we can do. And eventually they went out of business. The next day, or a couple days after that, I went to see another client. They weren't direct competitors, but they were in the similar kind of industry. And I said to her, so how are things going here? Well, they're not very good. She said, our customers want to buy something different, so they're not buying what we sell, and we've been too slow to adjust what our product offers and what our service offers. She said, our competitors all cut their prices in half, and over the last few years, we developed so much fat and so much inefficiency that we weren't able to keep up with that. So somehow we've got to figure out how to be more efficient. So the government passed some new regulatory thing, and we just had never even really thought about that as being possible. So now we've had to get a team together to figure out how we're going to manage that. And our employees just aren't motivated by the same things they've always been. And so we've had to try to figure out different ways and different benefits and different reasons why they would want to work here, different ways to keep them. You hear the difference between those two responses. One of them was, all this stuff's happening to us and there's nothing we can do, so we're hosed. And the other one is, all this stuff is happening to us, so we have to find solutions for these problems. And you might think that, well, what's the difference? Everybody's trying as hard as they can. Your belief about change will drive your behavior about change. If you really don't think there's anything you can do, you really won't do much. You'll give it some lip service and maybe have a plan, but you'll quit halfway through because it's hard and you really don't think you can do it anyway. If you really believe that you can control what happens in your business or part of your business, then you'll work until you find solutions. Like I said, the first guy, his business doesn't exist anymore. And the second one, her business is doing really well. Okay? So it's not just some intangible thing that doesn't really matter or sounds nice. It really has an impact. When I first heard someone go through this little spiel to me, I thought, well, that makes sense. But I think most people feel pretty good about being able to make change. I think most people are confident they can impact that. So I made a point to listen to how people talk about change and how they talk about their businesses and how they talk about themselves. The reality is, I would bet that way less than half the people in the world really think that they can make change successfully. I didn't think it would be that low, but it is. And there's no magic bullet for fixing that. All I would tell you is pay attention for the next few weeks to how you talk about change and how the people in your company talk about change, how the people around you talk about change, and just see what kind of attitudes about change you really have. Because unfortunately, most people are sunk before they get started because they just don't really think it matters. Who cares? It's not going to matter. The government will just do this, or our competitors will just do this, and we can't keep up. Okay? So just be aware of that. There's really no exercise or anything like that you can do to be better. Just be aware and be conscious of how you think and how you talk.